Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very exciting episode of The Fiction Chill with me, Daniel Hashimoto, and my lovely co-host here, Setherson Worley.
It's me.
And also,
full name.
Our invisible host, who we will make visible now.
Oh, I'm
Michael
visible.
Zalapsky.
Oh,
Right.
Michael.
Hello.
Yes.
Yep.
Hello, sir.
There I am. Hello.
Hashi, you
Hey,
had
it's
something
good to
going
see you
on
all.
with your hand.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Well, we've been getting so much traction and traffic over the week that I've been on my device, and it just is really...
That's what that does to you.
Yes.
Look what you
I was
people
told-
have done to him.
I was told if you were on your device too much, you would grow hair in your palms.
It's apparently just this really grotesque hot dog fingers, as we'll lovingly call them. I got a bad case of them today.
And that's because you were on your device watching the numbers climb on a video that I don't think any of us expected to be a pinnacle of our careers. Hashi, do we want to watch that real quick for those who aren't on social media but weirdly do watch our show?
Absolutely. Well, if you are a new viewer, welcome. We are going to rerun a trailer that the world really needed this weekend.
Apparently it did.
And or this week. And Seth, why don't we just run it?
Let's just do it. Here we go. This is what we did on the show last week. This is what we accomplished with our time.
No Puerto Rican. This is my first time in New York City. I want to be happy here.
Tonight is about family. The first dino boy who smiles at you.
Always gets me.
I never seen you before. I'm not Puerto Rican. Do you want to start World War III? Who cares if he's I don't know what he is.
You keep away from him. As long as you're in my house.
I'm a grown-up now, Bernardo. I'm gonna think for myself.
Tony, we need you if we're going to war.
If you go with him, no one will ever forgive you.
Who are you? Wonderful.
You just saw us peak, ladies and gentlemen. That was the greatest thing we'll possibly ever do. We'll
see y'all next week.
See you later. No, we have fun planned this week. I saw a movie yesterday that kind of blew my mind, and even though the internet told me it was going to blow my mind and hyped it all to hell, it was fantastic. The movie I'm obviously
Sonic 2.
Sonic 2. God, Knuckles just knuckled his way into my life and it's not going anywhere. No, I'm talking about a little film by the name of Everything Everywhere All at Once. And this movie is a profoundly silly, profoundly moving film that was even weirder than I expected it to be. And even funnier and even more touching than I thought it was going to be. It's spectacular. Believe the hype. Go see it. In the film, there's a lot of fun VFX. In fact, right there, we literally are seeing like things that we really should be doing on the show. Like people exploding into glitter and confetti, which is like our jam, 100%.
That is. And we've definitely, it's happening right there in the background with a T-Rex exploding into glitter right there. But yes, we've covered our share of exploding things, and I think that would be fun to take on whatever we. Don't listen to me. Are
you okay?
I'm still recovering from this situation here.
So, speaking of that situation,
one of the cool things about Everything Everywhere All at Once is how small the VFX team was. Like, it wasn't the normal Hollywood VFX machine with like these huge companies and all these like producers and supervisors. It was just a small group of people who have a history in doing music videos who were like, you know what, we know how to work together. Let's do this. We don't have a huge budget. Let's just make this happen. And it clearly is fantastic.
Yeah, you should definitely follow Daniel Kwan, one of the co-director on Twitter, has been posting a whole lot of great stuff about their VFX process and the way they put together their team, and the fact that they were having trouble fitting into most houses' pipelines with their workflow, the way they work, and also they just couldn't afford, like you said, the pricing, and so they put together a team of them and their friends that, who have, like you said, worked on music videos, that learned how to do VFX the way that we learned it, from online Video Copilot and online tutorials, and they'd call Adobe whenever they broke Premiere, and really inspiring to watch the movie and know that and realize that. I mean, look at that lens fracture effect is so cool. We could do a whole show on that.
Really, really, really amazing effects. And the fun thing about having a small crew doing these effects is you're probably on the ground figuring out the effect as you go, which means each of them has this really this very bespoke quality to it. And it's so cool to see the way that comes together in this movie. I can imagine all the ridiculous solutions that had to go into it. But yeah, as you mentioned, Daniel Kwan did a huge shout out to the VFX team, the places that they learned from, including many of the same places that we probably learned After Effects tips and tricks from. So really, really inspiring to see this kind of thing become such a what should we call it? A wide released,
a universally widely acclaimed. I would say such a widely acclaimed. Like, it really is. You watch it on screen, it does not feel like seven guys did the visual effects, but at the same time, in a good way, it feels like seven guys did the visual effects. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. It feels very organic, and it feels very. I don't know all the right words, but it's a. Like you said, has this very bespoke feeling to it. We're just repeating each other at this point, but I will say, it is also lovingly refreshing to see and hear a director speaking kindly of and singing the praises of their visual effects team, because that's the contrary is a pretty prevalent thing as of late. Speaking of, so
unfortunately,
here's the thing. Of all the cool visual effects in this movie, we've decided to devote our show to a very funny practical effect from this movie. I'm not giving any spoilers. These are widely attainable images. But there is I actually won't even describe what leads to it. That's the most ET finger you've ever had, Hashi. The one really up right there is incredible. I won't say how this happens in the movie or what. I won't give the context or anything, but I'll just suffice to say there's a gag where characters have hot dog fingers. It's in more of the movie than I thought it was going to be, and it's very funny.
I'm so tremendously pleased to know that,
and it's clearly a prosthetic. Obviously, and it's a very funny one. That said,
because why would you dedicate any time to trying to figure out how to do this digitally when you could do this for real?
Why? So the stupid decision we've made is we think it'd be funny to give hot dog fingers to some more famous fight scenes from cinema history, such as the kung fu scene from The Matrix. And so we have a couple weird ideas on how to give The Matrix hot dog fingers, but that's going to be our goal today. Is give The Matrix hot dog fingers. I'm going to be funny. Ironically, I'm going to be tackling it through. I'm going to open Cinema 4D and do a little bit of stuff, only because Hashi helped me figure out how to yesterday. Hashi, you've got the less traditional approach that you're going to try today.
I had a bizarre approach, and I had a lot of help trying to get there. It does also involve Cinema 4D, so we get to play around in there a little bit today, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so do we want to just dive right in?
Let's dive right in.
We're diving. Oh, wait, first, hang on. Here's some stuff that we might learn today. We might learn everything. We might learn it everywhere, and we might learn all of it at once. What other stuff? We're going to learn how to model simple geometry, or what do we say we're going to do to make these?
I think model of simple geometry is a good way to explain it because it's not very complex. The hot dog.
So not meat tubes in Cinema 4D. We'll just go with that. How to make meat tubes in Cinema 4D.
Yes, our show is famous for its
We've had meat tubes before.
Tubes.
Yeah,
you had me at meat tubes. Me at meat tubes. Meat tubes. Okay, what else are we going to learn, Hush?
We're actually going to learn a little bit about rigging in Cinema 4D. The very, very least about that. And also, I'm going to wander into a free software called Lens Studio, which I think has crept its way into the show here and there. But it is the Snapchat, Snap Inc. Interface for creating interactive AR face filtery stuff. And I tried really hard and did not get there. But got here, at least.
Still pretty fun.
With some friends, which is interesting. You can see what I was going for, and perhaps I'll improve it during the course of the show.
I still think, Hosh, if you could like cheat and put a solid, like a flat solid behind, like a plane behind the hand, you could then have a compositable element that you could capture from Lens Studio and then use and drop into After Effects somehow.
Yeah, there is a way to do that. And so I think that I'm going to play around with trying to get this live hand. I'm going to turn it off from my video stream here in a moment so we can play with it for compositing purposes. But I think that ignoring the way it looks with me, I think that I can turn off my hand and just render this hand model being animated and then captured and composited into shots as a way that I'm going to go about it, instead of doing any complicated trying to track the actual hand in the show, or in our plates that we're going to convert from the matrix. So so fun with Snapchat lenses. We're going to learn a little bit. I am not an expert, and there is very little documentation out there. Most of this I figured out with the help of Darren Frankowitz and Noseman. Athanasios Pazantzis spent a bunch of time with me this morning solving a very, very stupid problem, and I appreciate their help tremendously.
For those of you who are interested in going a little bit more into how to rig things in Cinema 4D, the Red Giant has just posted in the chat a link to part 1 in a 4-part series on rigging in Cinema 4D. So it takes you from zero to actually knowing what you're doing in rigging in Cinema 4D.
The Red Giant, isn't that outfit that was getting written up in Nerdist?
Nerdist wrote up about this Red Giant, these YouTubers.
YouTubers named Red Giant, that's us. Listen, I think it's time we dive into some things. So what do you say I keep saying dive in, so let's do it. Here we go. Hosh, who wants to start first? Because I feel like we've got pretty complex stuff we're doing first. Are you starting in Cinema? What are you doing?
I am starting a little bit in Cinema. I can describe a little bit how I got to this bizarre point. I went hunting on Sketchfab for rigged hands that were usable and found some great, let's see how far back this thing goes. Let's see. Oh, I deleted it already. Let's see. I'm going to open up this great shared video game hands object, which is great because it's for a first person game, and so just as the arms that would come into view, but it was rigged already and it had this architecture, and I was excited about that, but I knew I wanted to modify these all the way into hot dog fingers. So a very brief summary of what I did is I kind of got rid of all of the texturing on these, and then started using a combination of mesh brushes, especially the smooth tool, to go through and kind of delete the finger, the actual fingerprint detail that was in the geometry there. And then also did some of my classic select the very tip of these fingers and then enable a soft selection, probably turned way down. I think this was very small.
Classic.
Like this, so I could, I'll check surface there, and just kind of took each of these fingers and dragged them out like this. And then from this point, went right back to my mesh brushes over here and did some grabbing, smoothing. Inflation was really fun to just paint along these. Oops, let me deselect everything here. But yeah, you could
have scaled your bones on their
you scale your bones.
axes. That might have made life easier for you.
Your answer to everything is scaling
larger
bones.
without messing any of the weighting up.
It's true, but what I wanted was I wanted to maintain this hand rig at this size because I
you
wanted
need the finger ends to be
ultimately
floppy. Yeah, gotcha.
Exactly. So
because if you make them
thought
longer,
of that,
then when they bend the whole length. Yes, I see.
Actually,
I'm with you.
I didn't think of that, but I did know that I wanted the geometry to go out beyond there, and you can see that the result that we ended up with is right here. It's lovely ET-ish hands, and this shape could maybe be improved a little bit, but
it's like Mickey Mouse fell into a Five Nights at Freddy's game and left his hand there.
Speaking of Five Nights at Freddy's, we know someone who does the voices for
Hi,
several characters in the new video game.
I think she's here. Hello, Marta.
She is in the chat. Hi, Marta.
What?
We miss you.
Celebrity in the chat, everybody.
I know. She's in
Bombard her
Battlefield.
with
She's in
requests.
Five Nights at Freddy's. She's in a bunch of stuff.
She's in all your games, and she's in
all your
mind.
games, folks.
Hey, speaking of fun and games, I forgot to
say
mention Hashi and I started an account this week called in the wake of our massive West Side Story spectacle. It's if you go to Twitter and follow @ButWithRaptors. That's not a butt with Raptors. That is BUT with Raptors. We are just adding velociraptors to things on a regular basis because we found this is what gives us peace. Apparently, this is
in these troubling times. We have found that the best way to make it through, the
and
news
it's not
cycle.
an exaggeration.
Yeah.
It's not an exaggeration. Hashi and I legitimately have heartfelt conversations, and in which we both have realized putting raptors in things gives us a deep sense of purpose that we haven't felt in a long time. And again, I'm not being sarcastic. It is a very bizarre piece.
Church,
I think, as you
forget children, forget marriage. Raptors are the
putting
answer,
raptors
And
in
you can
things.
quote the show on all of that.
Forget your church, kids. Forget your parents. Put raptors in things. Anyway, here's some hits.
Yes.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park with
But
the
in
National
all
Velociraptor.
sincerity, finding a creative pursuit that you can do alongside with friends is a wonderful both bonding and cathartic experience.
It's a lot better way to pass your time than methamphetamines.
Yes, especially if because think about how often in the course of this work you burst out laughing at the stupid results you're getting. Meth can't do that.
Today's wonderful life is just fantastic.
It's so good. Hash had a title on it at one point that said "It's a Velociraptor, guys," which was very funny. But I didn't give him time to finish it before I posted it. There's some fun ones coming down the line, but anyway. Back to hot dog fingers.
Yeah, so whenever you find your parents' phones, go subscribe them to that feed, just so they can learn a little bit more about what you're about, what we're about.
Hey, I'm gonna talk through real quick. I'm gonna make a meat tube in cinema, and it's very
Thank God.
It's very obvious, like elementary stuff here, like very 101 stuff here. So people might be bored, but I want to just. Only reason I wasn't doing it while you were doing it is because I want to include this part and talk it through for people who, like me, forget everything about Cinema 4D the second they close it.
Good plan.
Or maybe never jumped in. The way we did it yesterday was we went over to this blue cube guy here, and that's literally labeled cube, and went down and selected capsule to create a capsule. And down here in the controls, increase the height. And I think we set the height segments to, what did we set it to, Hash? Not too high.
No, not very high at all. I don't remember. I think it was like 12 or something.
Yeah, let's do 12.
If you press N and then B without moving your mouse, you can see the lines, so you have a better idea of how many you've got.
Oh, like that. Ooh. See, there you go.
Yeah. That's a quick shortcut. It's the same. You've got the options up in the menu over your viewport, but it's just way easier to hit NB and then NA to make them go away.
Nice. I'm going to leave them there for fun.
Yeah.
And then when I create this capsule here, let me see. I think I created... Did I add the jiggle or the geometry? I think I added the geometry, the skeleton first. So
yes, we've been we had a brief R&D session trying to get this stuff together.
So with capsule selected, I think if I'm remembering this correctly, go up to character and go down to click joint tool. And I'm actually going to change my camera perspective to like front view. And I'm going to, is it the pen tool that I selected? Or no, it's just automatically selected if I go to joint tool. Sorry, joint tool. And for some reason I had to click control when I did this. I don't know why, but I'm going to, starting at the top, I'm going to create 1 point, click another. It's not doing it. Why isn't it doing it? It was doing it yesterday.
Did you convert it to geometry yet?
No, you genius. I'm going to control click it. I'm going to go down and I'm going to say current state to object, right?
Or just press the letter C.
Press C.
Or make editable.
The option right up there, make editable.
C is for cookie unless you're in Cinema 4D, in which case it is for make editable.
Yes, it is. So we made it editable now.
So it's close to cookie.
Now character, joint tool, and I will go in and click control, and then I will click first point, and then second point, and you can kind of see, it's really faint here, but like it's created a little skeleton, like bone joint thing. So I think I just did 3 points. And then I go over here to see, look, it made some joints for me.
Look at that.
I love it. Now, what this means, and then I believe we selected all of it, went to character and went down to bind.
That sounds like something you would do. Yeah.
And then I just didn't touch anything. I just clicked OK. And now I think what happened is if I rotate any one of these joints, it will, look, we got a meat.
Oh, look at that.
So now the really fun part is I'm going to create it's a deformer, right? That's what we're doing. It's a jiggle. So it's this bendy purple thing. Go down to, I am paid to train people in Cinema 4D.
These are the proper tools. Proper terms.
I'm going to go down to jiggle. And let
me just say, I want that Jiggle Deformer logo on a T-shirt. Whoever is in charge of the Maxon merch store, please.
It's pretty great. I'm going to drop it into this capsule here, I believe, and then
it should come after the skin.
After the skin, thank you, sir. After the skin, the Seth Worley story. Then I believe what should happen now is, if I don't want to add keyframes to show you this, so what I'm going to do is this is another fun thing that Hash taught me, is on just the whole capsule, I'm going to click tags, and I'm going to add this vibrate tag. And
by the way, all of your lovely thanks, I need to we got to CC Darren Frankowitz and Noseman.
Yes,
because
these Darren Frankowitz and Noseman.
I teach you them the next day after I've learned them as if I had known them for years.
Perfect.
Oh, Seth.
So then with that tag, I'm going to go down and I'm going to click enable position. And if I click play, it should start jiggling this thing around. And there's no jiggle happening. So what does that mean?
There's a little bit of jiggle happening.
There is? Okay. I'll just turn the stiffness down.
Because you're jiggling, because you see how it's delayed behind your axis thing?
Oh.
So right now you're moving the whole thing, not any bones. So it's jiggling that movement. If you want to jiggle, like make the ends wiggle, then you're going to want to animate the rotation of your main bone so that it moves like this, and then the wiggle will then possibly happen. I'm not quite sure.
Really
what you're trying
like
to do
all
now.
the words that we're using today.
That's not. Oh, fields. Nope, fields.
Oh.
Linear
That'll do
field.
it.
So you go down and click linear field, and I think I did Y minus, and now
that'll do it. Yep.
And then we turn up the size of this thing.
See, there's a lot of really cool ways to get jiggle. I would have gone with making joints through the whole finger and setting up an joint IK rig so that you just move one end and they all just kind of flop around. But this is another completely valid way to do it. There are so many ways to do things in Cinema 4D, and this is a good, fun way. And jiggle is always fun to play with.
So here we go. Now it's working. You see, it's like...
Look at that.
And I think I'll even just like turn up the amplitude on this thing even more. And we can go in and increase, like we can decrease the springs in there to make a little jiggly, turn up the iterations. There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of fun there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to render out, because I'm an insane person, I'm going to render out individual, so I'm going to start with 10 fingers for this shot. And in fact, let me see, I've got the actual shot here. So I'm going to render out like some, not render out actually, I'm going to export OBJ sequences of various like jiggly fingers and use Element to bring them into After Effects and composite them on and try and track them into the scene manually using a couple different tricks. But so while I work on those, Hashi, you want to walk through where you are?
Absolutely. I'm going to have this weird double image going on here because I'm trying to use my webcam to test out this rig. What I did is once you've downloaded Lens Studio, you can do this. You can say File, New Project from Template. And in here, they have a whole bunch of different types of things. So, for example, there is this 3D hand tracking project. It's going to load there for a second. And once it does, you'll see some of the ones that they've built. So here we go. We've got like Shrek Frog hands situation right here. And the tracking is not amazing. It's all right at that low frame rate that it's previewing at through here. But
I love that it's got 4 fingers and you can't really quite place which finger it's not tracking. Like that's cool. So they did a very clever thing with this frog hand, which is it's bigger and the webbing on the fingers really obscures where your hand is, which I like a lot. So you can get some doubling up when the hand's toward the side. And unfortunately, their engine is only capable of handling one hand at a time. And so low handling on this. Though I think their help document says that they're working on this. It's a computational optimization thing for now. But basically, all of these templates try to make it user-friendly, and I'm going to try to demonstrate what I learned, which is this came in with 3 different demos. It came in with these skeleton-looking hands. So I know my preview is a little bit small, but you can see I got a little skeleton hand over here. This is a little model where this isn't an actual 3D model. This is the same bone joint having an instance exist everywhere everywhere there is a joint in their 3D hand rig or something. And then there's this third one, which if I turn on that checkbox, it's just called default hand. It's great, just like a little white glove. This is the one that I started with. So in Lens Studio, I deleted those other 2 things, and then under this group, there's a left and a right hand. And this group overall, right here, you can see what type of object it is. It's a object
a 3D tracking object, and it uses a left hand model, and is trying to match your left hand to its left hand model. And below that, there's this existing geometry of a hand that has a very straightforward rig, just like the one that I had set up in Cinema 4D. So what's really cool is I can delete the one that came with the model right here, like that. And then back in Cinema, I'm going to grab this rigged model, same process as what Seth did earlier. We have this whole hierarchy. I named the objects in the hand model to kind of match what Snapchat likes. Every program has a slightly different naming conventions for their hierarchies. So this is modeled after Snapchat's. So I can take this and I can export it as an FBX. And once I've done that, this took a lot of trial and error, and this is where Athanasios hung out with me for like an hour trying to figure out how to make this work. You can, in Snapchat, down here in the very corner, you can barely see, I am going to add from files FBX. So let's go ahead and find wherever we saved that. Elements, 3D stuff, and I think hot dog hand version 11 is where we finally got some results. And under here, I'm unchecking a handful of things. I'm going to uncheck import vertex color. I don't need that. I'm also unchecking the regenerate normals. I don't need it to regenerate anything. There's no vertex or there's no blend shape animation going on. And then I think I left the rest of these checkboxes the same and said, okay. And now, if I got to go down here, right to the side of my little dialog box here. And there's this F object right here. I don't remember what that stands for. And this little one that says P right here. And I don't remember if this is
do we have a immature middle school boy jokes drop, or we just have dad jokes?
Oh my! We do need the childish joke,
especially going into the MeTube episode.
Absolutely. I'm just going to drag this hot dog's hands model up into the left hierarchy thing there, and then say OK. And now, if I click on this left hand container, I can say match hierarchy and point it to my hot dog hand and say OK. And now, if all went well, oops, I need to uncheck proportions and pose from this dropdown and say pose only. And now we have the hand rig that I made hooked up to my hand. It's not phenomenal, but it's something. And as this the interface for this program increases in quality, and as I get better skills at working with models like this, I'm sure I can do some other cool things. So my goal today is to start from this state, and just like in like a combination of After Effects and Cinema, I can import or I can create an object that is just an image object. And then for this, let's select a new material for this. Let's load in from our files just a big green screen, which I'm sure I've got saved somewhere. Here we go, green screen. All right, so if I drag this object up here behind the hand, now the export from my snap camera lens is just this hand in front of green. And I can scale this object and stuff like that, which I've actually done in my finished model. So this is Snapchat lens thing. And I'm going to try to record some fingers in this setup where I can kind of puppeteer them live, as opposed to what Seth is doing. Seth, back to you.
I'm real quick just rebuilding the finger because I didn't make it long enough. So now let's see. I'm just adding my deformer again. Meanwhile, over in After Effects, I did do some rudimentary tracking of the hand using some null objects. Just so you can see, I've got these red null objects that are kind of loosely tracked to the hand. I don't think I should need anything too perfect here. I also put markers on where the movement of the hand started and stopped, because what I want to do is I actually want to create some custom. I'm gonna make some generic wiggly fingers to composite into a bunch of these shots of the sequence. But for moments like this, where there's a very specific hand movement happening and it's in the foreground, I'm gonna animate a custom set of fingers for this hand. And what I want is, I'm not going to animate this motion with the hand. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to slightly kind of flick one of the joints on each of these movements to reflect this movement just a tad, so that the jiggle in the finger will respond to this movement that I'm going to mostly animate in Element, if that makes any sense. So I have the skin here. I've got the skeleton set up. I want to make sure that the skeleton is working correctly. We got to move the joint. That's what I got to do. Boop up. Yep. So drop this jiggle in, give it a field, a linear field. And I think I'm going to set it to Y minus. I do want to move the anchor point on this. I guess I don't have to do that right now. I'm going to, this linear field needs to be bigger. So I'm just going to make it bigger by scaling it up here in the viewport up to basically cover the top and bottom of this capsule. So if I go back to perspective now and hit play, I think it should, the jiggle's on, but I don't have any movement. So let me just, to one of these joints, add some jiggle or vibrate. Sorry, I get those confused. Some vibrate, and I'm going to set it to rotation.
We've got jiggles, we've got After Effects wiggles, we've got vibrate tags, and
there we go.
All the lovelies.
So
I'm trying to open up.
Look at that thing wiggle.
That is
so
heck
wrong.
we
gets flagged.
Just wait till we add the skin texture to it. That's where it's going to get really weird.
So wonderful. Let me see if I can find it. I probably sent it to you via chat the other day, Seth. Let me see here.
EJ's tutorial.
There are very few of them, but there are a couple people who have done tutorials on how to do stuff in the Lens Studio that I'm using. So I'm going to, can I bring this over? Let me see if it views from this, browser window without cutting off. So this tutorial, and maybe I can share the link down there. There are some chain physics that sort of exist within the Snapchat world. So this guy is doing this, for example, which is the initial way that I thought I was going to do hot dog fingers. And I think that I could use some variation of this where I am using my full modeled hand, but adding additional rigged bones to the end of the finger that can be thrown to this chain physics type of reaction. So I don't know if I'll get to that point today, but it is pretty cool, and I'll share that video link with you all.
Oh, I did something wrong here.
Just so you know, we have some love in the chat, you guys. M. Geezy says that they're three heroes and want to let us know that we've saved their life more than once.
Oh, thank you. We're happy to save lives.
Save lives, take names. Let's see, what have we got here? I'm trying to open up the chat. I want to see y'all chatting.
I mean, the chat has been real quiet today. I think they're just mesmerized by the swinging meat tubes, but they've been fairly chill.
Talk about our swinging meat tubes, chat.
Wait, what the heck?
I think they're just cautious that anything they say might be interpreted incorrectly in this sort of context.
I don't see.
There's no way to interpret this incorrectly.
What? That is fascinating. Whatever you got going on there.
Well, I can't remember what I've got going on here. I think I'm trying to invert this on the Y. I forgot how I did it yesterday.
Well, in the meantime,
Sorry. What is it you're trying to do? Are you trying to flip it just up?
Yeah, flip it up.
Just put a null up there at the top and nest everything underneath that null.
You animal.
Like a brand new null.
Need a brand new null. All right.
So I'm not going to attempt to add any more physics. I'm just going to use what I've got. But I am going to see
put a brand new null at the bottom of everything. Like
no, but look, I don't know how I did this. I'm so sorry. It's happening though. Enjoy. Let's see. Sorry, Hash. I'm so sorry. Continue your.
This is all right. All I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start. Let's see. It looks like I'm going to start on plate 18 and start working my way backwards so we can kind of meet in the middle here. I'm just going to watch the performance in these takes. In this case, it looks like it's we got a little Morpheus
he's reading down. He's reading his lines off his hand.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try to perform this same action, but with my incredible puppeted meat hand tool over here, and hope that I can then take this green screen. Oh, man. The tracking has gone wild. Oh, wait, there we go. So I'm going to basically try to act out just that moment using my rudimentary green screen thing. Try to port that signal over. I think I'm going to have to open up an instance of OBS and try to grab the output from this thing. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, before I get to all that, let's find out how we can share this with some people. I like my green screen version that just has the hand, but I want to fix this texture. So what is the texture? Is it the skin texture? I'm going to disable that alpha. That alpha was for trying to blend it in for my hand, but I'm going to see if I can switch it to be just a boring old skin texture. And that way I can tint and tone it in After Effects to match whatever we need. Everything, everywhere, elements, and somewhere I have a skin texture saved. I'm sure of it. All right, now we've got the full hand rendering. This is not a phenomenal render. So what I'm going to be playing around with is just grabbing some of these lights, trying to move them about so the lighting is at least somewhat similar to the shot. What have we got here? We've got pretty much top lighting, dark on the bottom, bright on top, right? Hanging out, hand, and then opens it to look at it. So let's see if my amazing technique works.
Sorry, it's just, this is going to be one of those episodes where I keep just giggling for no good reason.
It's not for no good reason. This is the stuff of life right here. Is wiggling and jiggling meat tubes on the internet for your friends to watch. I'm doing well, right?
Yep.
No way
Nick
to
Salve
misinterpret
says,
anything.
Yeah, Nick Salve says, "Come on down to Worley's Vibrating Meat Stick Emporium and Warehouse."
How did he know my
accurate?
address?
Don't know. You must have seen. Out Jogging Pictures says, "Is there a way to have Red Giant working on two computers simultaneously? Not without buying two licenses. I mean, if you have a warehouse full of 10 people working on visual effects, and only buy 5 licenses, and you put them on 10 computers. You see, they're not simultaneously now. So if you want to work on one computer, then you release it, work on the other. Yeah.
Hey, what happens if I was doing all that work and axis modification was on?
You'd have to turn it off and see what
depends on what work you were doing.
I feel like
the
it
axis
messed me up
modification
quite a
tool
bit.
lets you move the axis around versus anything else, but it depends on what work you were doing. Like if you're trying to grab the axis and move it, then it would move the axis around. But if you were just like keyframing position rotation, it shouldn't be affecting
Yeah, I don't know.
anything.
Something was happening.
Depending what you're doing.
I did something wrong. Who knows? Let's see.
All right, I'm just moving around some lights in here, trying to make it a little bit darker on the bottom, a little bit brighter on top. Now there are two hand models in this. There's this default one where the textures have gone wild. Anyone from Snap Inc., explain to me what's happening here. It's an issue with how things are textured on your end because these models are solid. See, that's working. All right. So now some performance, if you will, everybody. Let me capture this little part of my screen here. Shrink this down. Shrink this down. And
is there a way to like default the camera position? Like
what's that?
Well, I moved the perspective camera everywhere. Is there a way to default, like, to put it back to normal, for lack of a better word?
I don't know. In good old cinema, you can copy all your objects and put them in a new project.
We're so good at this.
So good. So good. You come for the professionalism, stay for the extended professionalism. All right. You know what? I want to do my acting with my right hand, so I'm going to, but I only have a left hand hot dog set up, so I'm going to flip this webcam over here. The series of things I'm doing to avoid having to do any hand tracked stuff is ridiculous. Okay. So let's try Morpheus Performance 1. One more time, look at the reference, because it's possible to do. It wasn't possible when I was building this model, and I had like 6 GIFs of what the fingers looked like, but I just went and winged it. All right. Hand forward, but you can see the wrist initially, and then when he flips it upright, you can still see the wrist. Okay. Performance time, everybody. Let's see.
Quiet on set versus
quiet on set.
Important performance from Hashimoto.
Let's see. Let's see. Let me dial down my base color here.
Seth, Jaron Frankovich says that copy paste is a totally legit Cinema 4D workflow.
Well then.
See?
What did I just do? How did I go to the other camera? I don't understand this app. This that I sell. Sorry. I don't even understand
so we've got
things.
Hand sitting here. He's thinking, and then he looks to read his hand. Oh gosh. I just got to keep in this glitchiness, right? All right, I'm standing up out of frame. I'm knocking over my background. Okay, Morpheus is standing like this, and then he turns over his hand to read it like that. I think that's he's holding it here, and then
the palm doesn't come quite as much towards us, Hash. We don't see the writing on his palm.
Oh, it's upside down. So let me see. Oh, I'm gonna stand over here. All right. This is. Oh, I found the weakness of this hand tracker. It really doesn't like this angle. But y'all love this.
Love it.
Oh yeah,
They
you
all
can
love
absolutely
it.
see the bottom of the hand there. So it's up here more. Am I recording? So it's here, and then it opens up like that. And should I add some of the wiggle on my own? So he's just trying to have a serious moment, and
I'm just making an episode of VeggieTales over here, if that's what we want to call it.
Well, it's the non-vegetarians version where it's just all meat tubes talking about the Bible.
Meat tales. Oh my God! Let's make some Bible stories through the eyes of meat. Call it meat tales. Which sounds like
Can only use
else.
beef or chicken though. We can't use pig.
Yeah.
Okay, I think right at the end somewhere there, I got my performance. So this is basically like a live mocap studio.
Hashi.
Everybody. Yes.
Hashi, Jason has a question. Couldn't you send the actual video footage through Snapchat and let the Snapchat filter use the actual footage?
I thought about that, but because of the whole left hand, right hand issue and not being able to have control over how it's composited into the scene, you only have control over the lighting while it's still in Lens Studio. As soon as you publish it, the lights are fixed to whatever you have there. So I could pick a generic light pass, and that was actually what Seth and I proposed doing for the show, is me getting the snap filter working so we could just put it on top of all of this footage. So you know what? We'll try that toward the end and see what we get. But for now, I'm going to do this setup where I have full control over what I want. Now I'm going to. Seth and Michael can see everything that I'm going through on my file browser, but these are all of my exciting captures of all of my talking head segments from any tutorial that I've done.
Right. Trium23 says Red Giant could do a hot dogs for legs filter, but we'd have to have some sort of fish guard and only work on Lawrence Fishburne because we wouldn't want it to be used for evil, similar to our Raptor Eyes plugin.
True. And there's a whole licensing issue. We have to negotiate with their contract. It's a whole thing.
Oh, Seth, your wiggling finger is.
That's some beautiful wiggling over there.
Thanks. So I'm spending a little too much time on it, but so here's what I'm gonna do now is I've got this wiggle that I to the frame matched his hand movement here in the matrix shot. And so now I'm going to add a little bit of organic, like the vibrate tag to this bottom, this first joint. And I'm going to just adjust, like I'm going to export 4 versions of this with just change the seed on this vibrate. So I'm going to say enable rotation, and I'm going to do it very subtle, like maybe frequency of 1, amplitude of 10. Let's see. And so now, can I actually start at a negative frame so I give myself some handles at the top of this?
I think you can do something that's like set initial state. But you know what? You could probably do negative frames too. I'm not sure. Someone in the chat will know more than I do.
Oh, you can do negative frames, yes.
Okay, cool. Then I'm doing it.
I just did a quick roto brush on Morpheus's hand right here, and I'm going to use it as an inverted alpha matte like that. And then I'm just going to say, content aware fill, just fill that in for me, please.
Okay.
Let's go think about it.
We haven't had content aware fill in a while, and we need a drop for content aware fills.
We do.
Yeah, he doesn't speak a lot.
I mean, we could just have him kind of come into this shot and then leave.
Hey guys, it's me.
I'm sure dude's been busy. All right. So now I've got an erased Morpheus hand. I've got my green screen, unnecessarily HD captured at 30 frames per second Morpheus hand. I'm going to zoom all the way to the very end of this Snapchat record and try to find the moment that I must have done this little performance bit. So it was a closed hand like this, and then let me just draw a quick little mask here, add a little, whoops, a little primat, just press auto define key, boom, oops, and let's, gotta get out of that. I'm going to move my anchor point. I always love to move my anchor point to somewhere that's relevant to the footage, like this. So before I do any skin tone matching, I just want to do placement and kind of see how we're doing. Let's see.
That looks so good.
Oh, look at that!
Hey!
Holy crap!
Excellent.
Excellent.
That makes me so happy.
So because I didn't get my physics working yet, I am trying to puppeteer the fingers to do a bit of what of the wiggling that they're supposed to. Let's choke in this mat a little bit. Let's say shrink the mat just a teeny bit and blur the mat a teeny bit right within there. And I can never see how much spill I have going on in here, but I'm going to enable the spill killer in case, even though it's all digital and shouldn't have spill except for compression spill. Then I'm going to use my favorite friend, CC Toner, and just go across and grab the exact skin tones I want based on that. Oh, should I have pre-comped this first? I didn't remember that. Does Toner destroy the alpha? Or did I destroy the alpha? I must have destroyed the alpha. What did I do? Undo, 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 undo. Add my toner back. Just sample some of the skin colors in the shot. Why not? Best way that I can think of to do it. Maybe sample the black value down here from that there. And we can also open up the original plate as a reference here. All right, so original reference, much brighter on top. So I could literally sample that color if I wanted to, but I could also probably adjust the curves first.
I was just about to say that, Hashi, you were right there with me.
Boom. I'm going to use my brightness and contrast just because I like the way they pair with CC Toner. Because it's always going to try to keep my my colors, the sampled colors, which is really nice. But, and really maybe I could switch to Pentone, and so I can get even more fine detail across this. So I want that color, this color, medium color, this bright color here, and then I'm going to turn this back to white so I can get kind of a top highlight. And we're in the ballpark. And maybe I could throw some pixel motion blur on there. Oh, it's not going to like that. Does force motion blur like to be after a series of effects? Probably not. It probably wants to be pre-comped. So let's go ahead and pre-comp this layer, pre-compose all of these effects. So we can call it the Morpheus 19 hand. And actually, it's really the 18 hand.
Hey, wait, I don't know how to add a null. I forgot how to do this.
Add a null.
Yeah, I don't know, like click up one more button. The top button. Up.
Looks like a little axis and a little beach ball.
Yeah, go to the left. Just a little bit left.
Sorry, you both talked at once and I didn't understand.
Up. That one.
Thank you. Everybody there?
We're here. just totally silent. You know what? There's no reason I'm not to use Real Smart motion blur. There we go. So we'll put Morpheus' hand right here, and we'll do a couple of position and rotation keyframes. So we'll start it out right around here. And then he'll open up his hand like that. Oh man, there's a cursor. There's an extra cursor in my footage. All right, so right around here. Seth, how's it shaking over there?
Man, I finally think I've got it working the way I needed it to work. I was just having some kind of weird issue with I would animate a joint and nothing would happen like on it, and it was frustrating me, but I think I'm
if you turn off the jiggle deformer while you're doing the animation, it would probably help with that, because the jiggle deformer is probably taken over.
Well, the other thing is, like, for some reason I add this so if I turn off the jiggle performer, but like you watch, I've added vibrate to one of these joints. So let me turn it up. So it's jiggling. It's that way, like left and right. I do it here. It's jiggling on like the y-axis, and then I do it here, and it's also jiggling on the y-axis. Of course, it might actually not do it now, but damn it, never mind. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome back. It's hard when we get in the weeds on one of these things. We're always trying an effect that we have never tried before effectively, unless we're doing velociraptors, in which case
that's all we've done for the past week.
Highly experienced velociraptor. So, Hashi, your technique is working way better than anyone expected. I'm a
really
fan.
Is.
I agree. I'm just adding a little subtract mask right here for the sleeve. I was going to try to roto the other sleeve, but why when something like this will work? Also, one of the most underrated effects in After Effects, drop shadow, just as it is. Sample the drop shadow color around there. Set your distance to kind of match what the other shadow was doing, and it's beautiful. This is the integrity we need for this specific shot. All right, I'm going to go ahead, add 2 mask keyframes, one there and one here, so it looks like, whoops. This hand is actually somewhat buried in the sleeve. Oh, my computer's slowing way down for a moment. Who's slowing me down?
Me. Meet tube 1. Import 3D object.
Hey, chat, since you're watching this stream, have you noticed any increase in quality in the way Hashi looks? Does he look less compressed and janky this week? Does he look more HD? Let us know, please.
We're trying to figure it out, folks.
So I've got this 3 object OBJ sequence. I have imported into Element, normalized the size, and the alignment, this is important, I'm going to set to bottom. And I click OK, and now it should line up with... All right, so the jiggle is... Oh, I need to offset the animation here. So, because I added 10 extra frames at the front. So if I go into Baked Animation under Look, Frame Offset, I'm going to click 10. So now that jiggle... Oh, maybe not. Never mind. It must have exported. All right, so the jiggle seems to line up with him waving. So now...
I feel like this is going to work, Seth.
I know. So I've got to create a group null. And I'm going to parent it to this null 1 here. And I'm going to hold down Shift so it moves it to the actual location at the alignment of null 1. So now... Okay. I may need... Let's see. Is it... Goes forward... I wonder if I need to invert the Y. Does that look?
Well, that looked It's pretty good.
I just can't. I just can't.
I feel like
I
it
don't
needs
know
even
what
more wobble.
some effect I added started really slowing me down over here. And I don't know if it's because I'm running a dozen different things that are all trying to source my same video stream at the same time. But sorry, y'all, it's slowing me down.
Oh, dude, it's okay. That's me every week. Oh no, it was right before. So let's do. I'm gonna increase that jiggle like crazy. I'm gonna
Increase that jiggle, baby.
turn. I think if I turn down the springs, this actually gave me a better wiggle last time. No, I want to keep the amount of springs, but I'm going to actually just change the keyframes, make them a little more extreme. Extreme
keyframing.
Seth, try turning the linear field off and just see if it gives you what you want for the kind of animation you're doing this time. You might not need it on.
That's without the linear field.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. For some reason, that does all the work of the jiggle. Oh, wait, what did I do?
All right, I am going to go back to the original sleeve. I'm just going to draw a little mask like that on it, and then I'm going to go down to my mask here, right-click, and say Track Mask, and then set the method to Position, Scale, Rotation, and Skew, and press play, and just try to see how well it does. It did okay. That baked in some keyframes for everything over here. Helpful enough. All right, let's feather that baby and put it like that. Turn everything back on. And now we have hand coming out of sleeve-ish. There's a messed up joint that I've got going on because of the way my thumb geometry works. So we're just going to ignore that, though. Maybe I can shift the anchor point so I can slide that kind of into his sleeve a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There, and let's mess with the position a little bit. Have it come up like that there. And have it coming out all the way to here. All right, this is a super low fidelity model, but I think for what we're going for, I like it. I'm going to export this for you, Seth.
Do it.
Then I'm going to, my next plan is to do a big mocap session. We're just going to look at each shot, and I'm going to record what I think the hand is doing in that instance there. So let's do this. Let's make...
And you're sure you don't want to send the footage through OBS into Snap so you don't have to do it with your own hands?
We can try that. I have a feeling that the lack of control will make for a worse final result. But you know what? This is a community here, so we're going to try it.
Because the chat was like, if you put the footage through OBS, you can still do all the control in Snap that you have. Just the actor you can get the actor's true performance, I think, is their concern.
We don't like the idea of a secondary artist taking over the mocap for...
Andy Serkis would cry.
Mm-hmm. But he's never used mocap, just digital makeup. The CG teams do nothing for him.
It's all him. The animators have nothing to do with it. For those who don't understand sarcasm, we're being sarcastic.
A tremendous number of Andy Serkis performances were practically rehand animated over top of his performance, which was amazing and commendable. But the not acknowledging, like exactly the opposite of what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, acknowledging the visual effects and the team that support your products is a really good way to live.
Yes, it is.
Matrix, I'm just going to call it VFX 19. I don't know what this naming convention should be, Seth.
I don't either.
All right.
As long
So
as the numbers
all of that
match.
CC toner, everything that I was doing is all not possible if I do it the other way. But I want to try doing it the other way to show you all. What was that, Seth? I cut you off.
Well, no, I was gonna. I'm working with a different plate than I was yesterday, so I was gonna just import the meat tubes that I exported yesterday. But it's not working like it was working really well yesterday. Story of my life. I'm just gonna go with these. I'm gonna keep going with these. So I'm gonna export another OBJ sequence here.
If you like your old OBJ sequences, grab them.
Well, the problem is plate I'm working with is different than the plate I was working with yesterday. Are
they loopable or extendable?
Different timing. And I don't want to work and figure out what it was. So I'm just going to. What did I just do? Oh shit. We'll just leave it there.
All right. So, for example, my video feed for the show is going to get replaced momentarily by Morpheus because of the. I keep on trying to say Lawrence Fishburne, and I'm going to say Morpheus Freeman or something like that. And I promise it is just my
ignorance, not racism.
Stupid ignorance. All right. So here we go. We've got that.
It's pouring down hail here. So if I drop, it's because storms
because storms. Dead? Okay. Please fine. Whoever suggested this. That's pretty funny. Seth, this is me just porting the shot into.
And it's working? Holy crap.
You just need to make your model bigger.
So now, let's see. The lights, there's less underlighting.
Oh, look at this.
Holy crap.
Light goes up, above, and kind of back. The lights are weird because it feels like they're lighting locally to the model instead of the scene, which is really confusing me right now. That, or I can't understand the orientation of it once it's piped through this thing. Okay, so if we were to do this model, what would happen if we went back to our texture that did have the...
I was going to say, before you get too far along, if you can make the skin tone match his closer, it'll make things a little easier when you get into After Effects to do your color matching.
So can I... Oh, there's not a dropper? Darn. Colorblind people depend on them. Help me, Michael and Seth.
You're on your own,
You
pal.
need to go... no, you're heading the right way. You just need to be oranger and more saturated.
I was just kidding. You're never on your own. I'm always here for you. I'm just busy with these Morpheus meat tubes.
Redder. You need to go redder. There, that's closer. Nope, too pink. You need to go oranger. And then darker, but stay the same amount of saturation. Maybe pump up the saturation more, actually.
You can't click and drag on these numbers either. Oy, oy, oy. Working in other things is fun.
I know. I get so used to how smooth our regular apps work. Like going into other ones that don't have the great UI team, you're like, oh, right.
Let's see. So what would happen if I turn off this light or turn down this light? Or maybe turn down the environment. What if I turn off the environment? Oh, there we go. Now we're getting truly unlit stuff. So I do want that environment back, but I just wanted the exposure down a bit.
Yeah.
And then I want these lights to be brighter. But where are they? Push them back in Z. These don't quite have the same spatial arrangement as the scene, so it's very confusing. Getting closer. And now what I can do is I can go to my actual hand model, go to the wrist joint here, and start doing some tweaking in X, Y, Z to try to figure out whereabouts they are. That, or I can just turn on my green screen again, and then I have this performance, and then I can take it in After Effects. So maybe we'll do this. We'll turn off that alpha that I was doing over here. Okay, I forgot who suggested this.
Jason Murphy was all about
Jason Murphy. You were right. This actually was kind of cool.
You're the one.
Nick says UI engineers are wizards. Yeah, it's a good UI you don't really notice because you can just get to work. It's when it's bad that you're like frustrated, struggling with something that you're like, well, that's when you really, really notice it. Or if something changes, like the change from old Cinema 4D to new Cinema 4D is a huge change, and it takes some getting used to. But now, now I'm so used to R25 that if I go back to any older version of Cinema, which I do sometimes have to do for some of my freelance work when I'm picking up projects and sending them off to render farms at other places, like I don't like the older Cinema 4D anymore. Like when R25 first came out, I'm like, oh, I don't like it. It's new, me. But now I'm into it. Like it's just smoother for me. And but like I said, good UI gets out of your way, lets you just get to work.
It does.
All right. You know what? I am going to see what would have happened with that initial plate that we did. Because Seth, you're already working on the shot that I just tried for my demo here.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I want to see. All right. Are you not recognizing you because that's his right hand for that view? All right. You don't see it. Do you not see that hand? Doesn't see the hand. Let me see if I were to make this bigger.
There we go.
Okay. All right. I'm willing to try this. This shot I'm considering already done, but I can see that it would work. So let's go ahead and what am I looking for? Let's look for the next clip that would work here. Let's try clip. We just did 18, 17, let's see, 16. You'll barely see any Morpheus hands. I'm going to try to go through and do a Morpheus pass before I switch to Keanu. All quiet.
Jesse Rogers says stuff. Hot dog hands. Hot dog emoji, hand emoji equals funny, and I would agree, Jesse. Hot dog fingers are very funny.
Now we're gonna have to combine them with our Velociraptors. And
Oops!
the world.
Velociraptors with meat tubes fingers.
Yeah.
Crashed my split cam. I realized I was not closing down any of these plates that I had running concurrently.
Whoops.
So maybe I should clear these out. It's a lot of quick times to have playing on top of each other instead of one at a time. All right. What's a fun shot? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here my concern is going to be it's not going to register the hands at any point. And I think I am correct. There's like one frame where it thinks that there's a hand in here. So this would work very nicely for slower moving stuff, which is pretty cool. So I do like that.
Jason Murphy says that Seth is making a good car salesman wiggly man thing, the wacky inflatable
Oh yeah,
arms.
You could totally do a
Man
wavy man with
thing.
this.
Wacky wavy inflatable.
You could totally do that with this same setup. That's so true.
If you want a real involved one, Chris Schmidt did a presentation on the Maxon's Cinema 4D channel for making a wacky inflatable arms. I think it was on the Maxon's YouTube channel, but he did a pretty cool rig sending wind through a tube set up at Cinema 4D to make an amazing wacky inflatable wavy arms, whatever it's called.
Chris Schmidt doesn't make anything not amazing. Did I say that right? Chris Schmidt's great. I love him, and he makes amazing things. The end.
That's perfect.
Meat tube C. I'm bringing in 4 new meat tubes.
All right. I am just curious now. I'm going off on a tangent, Seth.
Welcome. I'm strapped in. Do it.
All right. I would love some audience suggestions of clips from movies that you all know
that fingers
that could use some hot dog fingers. So let's see. Display. Are you display 2 or are you display 3? Display 2. Perfect. I am so excited for this. So we're going to say okay. We're going to say Control F. We're going to reset. All right.
I found the tutorial. It was a grayscale gorilla tutorial. So Chris Schmidt makes wacky inflatable tube mans. It's on the grayscale.
Beautiful. All right. Suggestions for things that people would like to see hot dog handed. So I'm going to start my virtual camera. I know you all love my silence as I set up this goofiness.
I mean,
OBS
so
virtual
folks
camera.
Want anything from Now You See Me to be wiggly. Marty's hands disappearing in Back to the Future.
Yes.
They also want to
That's
see wiggly.
Great. I love that one.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That one's relevant to my
Someone doing
interests.
finger tutting, which is amazing. Pan's Labyrinth Pale Man. Excellent suggestion. You guys chat is killing it with good suggestions. Keep it coming.
Goodness. Okay, let's see. What do I want? I want the I like the Pale Man as a good way to start.
Tom Cruise doing the salute thumbs up from Top Gun. Indy grabbing the idol in Raiders. Oh, you guys are killing it.
Good gravy. All right. I'm going to close my...
There's a shot where Indy throws his hands up in front of the light to make the darts come out.
Oh, man.
I feel like that's the one to do because it'd just be like, boing. I'll make that noise as much as we can.
OBS virtual camera. Lens reset. Come on. Do it. Oh,
Seth, I'm loving these fingers in the shot. I cannot wait to see them.
I just need one lone one just being idle. So let me take these animation off. Select the keyframes and delete you.
Okay, I'm gonna freeze for a second on the stream, probably, or something like that. Running so many things right now, Seth. I have no idea what will end up in my video feed here. Let's see. Can we do?
Someone wants Mr. Burns saying excellent, and
with the giant fingers.
With giant fingers, excellent.
I'm a big fan of that.
And Triam 23 says Truman waving, and if I don't see you, good morning, good evening, good night. Or Luke summoning his lightsaber in the Wampa Cave.
Oh yeah, any force movement is pretty great too.
If you can you imagine if you had hot dog fingers and were trying to wield a lightsaber at the same time, you would just lose the ends of your fingers every time.
Oh yeah, they actually start much longer, and then they get down to most Jedi actually have.
That's why
huge
Jedi's fingers are so short.
Yeah.
Let's
I don't
see.
know how all Jedi had all their fingers to be quite honest. I know that Luke didn't have a hand, but like the number of Jedi that had fingers is unrealistic compared to what we've seen the lightsabers.
Oh,
are capable of
100%.
doing.
Yeah.
That's true. I do also love that. I think that Mark Hamill was the only person directed at one point to act like lightsabers were very heavy to wield.
Yeah, everyone else is like, wah, 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 and he's like two-handing it.
Mm-hmm. And it was a direction. You heard that wielding one was like throwing around a giant like thing made of stone. But no one else was told this, and so now he feels like a fool. All right.
Forrest Gump's wave in the locker room.
Oh my God, the Forrest Gump wave. It's from the boat. It's the boat. He is in the locker room, but when on the boat is the one that's the gift where he waves at Lieutenant Dan.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Evil and his pinky is a suggestion and a half. The problem with that one is you have to cheat the hand way down.
Mm.
Miss Piggy Karate Chopping Kermit, hot dog fingers for the pig. Thank you for specifying which character gets
from the pig. By the way, I love that Element is created for a total of 5 groups. It's like Andrew knew that we needed it for hot dog fingers.
I think so. I think deep down.
He always knew.
Because it just why it just came and dropped Element and then disappeared, and until this day, and now
for the next version of Mir, need to make sure they have groups, at least 5 for wavy fingers.
Yep.
In the next version of Mir.
Seth, you are welcome to disable my camera stream if you'd like. I think that it's going to go wackadoo. Because I'm doing all this circular. I'm trying to feed my webcam into my into Lens Studio, which is not loving that arrangement.
Oh no!
But I'm trying to force it to work. I know that I could feed this to Snapcam and that would handle it fine because it wouldn't be running all this other stuff. But I want my lighting control and my color control. So you can either leave that lovely eternal grin going on there, or you can turn this off if it gets distracting.
I'm on Team Grin because that's not a bad photo of you. Nick Salve wants the hacking scenes from Swordfish.
Where he's like, that's excellent.
See, that's how I feel like when I see people who have those really long fingernails and they're typing, I'm like, how do you, I don't understand how that's working for you. I feel the same would happen with the hot dog fingers, like typing and wiping and other things that rhyme with that would be difficult with hot dog fingers.
Typing and wiping and Skyping.
Definitely. Add.
Hashi, you've turned into a Teams logo.
No, get out of here.
For those
I will not bow down to any corporate sponsor.
We tried skipping Skype this week for something from a much better company called The Same Company.
The problem is Hashi then decided to bring his webcam into the mix of everything.
I'm giving the people what they want. This is a group effort, everybody.
Well, the group wants Babe Ruth movie where he points before hitting a home run, and putting the hand on the end of that. Bruce Almighty typing scene would be Minority Report. So Tom Cruise could be a raptor with hot dog fingers. Oh yeah, I know which scene you're talking about in Minority Report, where he's doing the gestural interface on
the whole
that
hacking
hologram screen. Yeah,
that would be fun.
I agree, Jesse, that tying shoes would be. You'd need to have Velcro shoes if you had hot dog fingers.
I'm gonna add these other 4 real quick. Or 5. I'm just using Spot Clone Tracker to track things. Don't mind me.
A pro tip that's come up before, but in case you've missed it, Spot Clone Tracker is a very fast tracker, faster than AE's built-in tracking. But people think, but don't want to clone anything in a spot. Well, you can take the tracking data from Spot Clone Tracker and use it like a normal tracker.
You just click U to see the keyframes once you track. It shows up on the spot center. You just copy those keyframes, paste them onto a null's position, and bada bing, bada boom. You've got a tracked null.
Look at that.
Look at it. All right, let's see now.
All right, we are now. I am going live.
Hang on, Hashi. I gotta break in. Any bowling shot from The Big Lebowski accompanied by a slurp sound when the bowling ball is thrown.
All right. Are you not entertained? All right. I am not going to composite these in a serious way, but I do want you all to at least get to see them played live for a moment. Let's rearrange these windows here. Let's put our preview way up top and put our scene and everything down below it. This is a very configurable. Can I pop this out? There we go. Beautiful. I'm just making this a little bit bigger so everyone can enjoy. Wait, where'd it go? I didn't mean to dock it. Undock. Get larger. Hot dog hands. Nope. Not trying to do anything there. Just scale up. All right. I don't know what this video is. This video is like it's probably a behind the scenes situation. Okay, so that's the wrong hand. So since it only works for left-handed things, I've got to keep on flipping it back and forth. There we go. Wait, can you see that on my screen?
No, for some reason it got black over that section.
Why is it cut off? I don't like that.
That's
blah, 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 blah. What happens if I move this window around? Seth, did anything happen to my screen over there?
I'm looking.
On.
Yeah, he's cut off. There you go. You're back.
There you go. Sorry, that was probably something weird I did. Okay, so here's the
there we
shot.
go.
All right. And let's see. Look up Forrest Gump waving. And we're going to just play some ads, obviously, in the meantime. All right. Forrest, what hand do you wave with? Whoa.
There is a lot of motion blur in that. Holy cow.
There's a lot of craziness. Okay. So that is not registering.
I mean, for all we know, he does have hot dog fingers in that shot. We just can't see him because they're blurred out into nothing.
Okay, just out of curiosity.
So we've got more suggestions coming in, by the way, while you're looking for that, Hosh. Dr. Strange Spell with hot dog fingers, Nightmare on Elm Street, hot dog gloves, Edward hot dog hands, John Travolta and Uma Thurman dancing in Pulp Fiction, the milkshake scene from There Will Be Blood. Yeah, so there you go.
All right, I'm going to pop that out again. Okay, here we have Harrison Ford angrily pointing at stuff. Ah!
I think it was just giving us some gang signs.
So much angry pointing. All right. So what I'm learning is that I need slower hands from the register. I love this idea, and I also feel like it's a bust at this point. How's everyone feeling?
It's fun, but you're right. I don't. Wow, I was about to share an opinion without having actually been able to look at properly watch anything you've been doing up to this point. Very much.
I'm on board with with things that are happening. The fact that you can just feed it in there and make it work on some of the shots it's working out pretty good.
Yeah,
we need some performing moments with hands where the hands are in frame and they're moving slowly or doing stuff, as opposed to big sweeping fast actions with these for the moment. The big sweeping fast actions I can comp, but live we got to find some.
I feel like the milkshake scene from There Will Be Blood had slow enough hand gestures in certain points. Filmcast 4, how to make VFX. Well, it depends entirely on the visual effects you're working on. There are plenty of fine tutorials on this channel, specifically on this show, for doing the visual effects from several different kinds of movies. And Nicholas, what are we doing? Good question.
What are we
when you
doing?
find out,
We're
let us know.
recreating. We are trying to humorously, digitally recreate the practical effect done in the fine film Everything Everywhere All at Once, where at one point in the film, characters' hands are turned into hot dogs' fingers. So we are adding hot dog fingers on to other movies.
All right, here's where it gets really fun. I am going to come back and texture this stuff in a second, but here's where I've got so far. I've got the foreground fingers and I've got background fingers, and it's good enough for me right now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add textures to the tubes, and then actually try and seamlessly integrate them into the scene onto his hand. But first, I actually need to do some grunt work here. I need to properly erase the tips of his fingers. I can probably get away with not painting out these ones back here because they're fully covering them up. But these ones, I feel like they are showing up behind these fingers a few times. So I'm going to paint them out. And then I also need to... God, I need to paint... There's a variety of things I need to do. Oh my God, Hush.
Okay.
Oh
Wait,
my God.
Let's see it. Okay, I've got to go for the high quality.
It needs to light up.
I'm going to turn the speed down. I don't think my volume will port through.
But it needs to light up as it hits his head. As it hits the guy's head. Because it totally looks like he's ETing him. Oh my God.
Let's see. Find it. There it is. Okay. Now where's our textures? We can try to live texture it.
Jesse, we are not turning wands into hot dogs in the Harry Potter series.
Not yet. Okay, this has got really intense top lighting. Okay. All right, where's that milkshake finger? Come on. Find it. It's right there. Come on, algorithm thingamabob. There it is. This is so stupid.
Mhm.
But it's live and interactive, which is ridiculous. All right. Okay, so we've got that. What else was in our suggestion list? Any of them longer?
Iron Man snap hot dog fingers.
The snap. Oh my gosh.
I feel like tracking the Infinity Glove would be tricky for the algorithm.
I'm curious to see if it knows that that's a hand.
I don't think the shading and tech contours would be.
He's not wearing the gauntlet in that. He's wearing his Iron Man actual hand.
Oh, that's right. But still, we have the problem of the textures and the lighting is going to be not react to
Are you in the right movie there? Yeah, you are. It's way later. You got to cut to. He's with. No. It's on Thanos. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I see what you're doing now.
All right. So yeah, I do have to keep mirroring it to the right, so it's the left hand in frame doing the stuff. Okay, so come on, that's a hand. That's obviously a hand. Yes. it's trying. It's trying so hard. It can't decide if it's a right or a left hand.
That on his own is really cool.
Boom.
Oh, spoiler alert for Endgame.
But we didn't spoil everything everywhere all at once, so
yes, you're right. We did not.
Kept our promise.
We may have ruined it though.
No.
Seriously, go, folks. It's in theaters now. Small independent team people worked on it. It's amazing. Go watch it.
Please.
After the stream is over.
I need to
Watch this stream, then quickly watch all of our episodes one more time. This is going to be so uninteresting. Okay, I kind of want to know if this would work in real time or not.
Amazing.
Settings, speed. Let's try playing this back at normal speed. And I love that this practically does nothing because it's still just, whoa. This little hand.
He went for Thing. Thing is normally supporting its own weight is the thing. So is the thing. I see that. You'd have to offset
very weird
it.
results.
All right. So now.
Fun. Okay. All right. I think I've had my fun with live who's or what's its thingamabobs.
All right. Well, I've got 15 minutes left to get this looking any good.
All right. I'm gonna switch back to my webcam. Cool. All right. I'm switching back to my webcam so I can do some more performance capture for this ridiculous show. All right. Let's get that right there. And all right, we've got hot dog finger hands
again.
What's up?
Hi there.
All right, so you're welcome to turn my feedback on if you want, but I'm also just going to be recording images over here.
Well, you're not sending your video through the Teams.
Oh, I'm not.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll see if I can.
Now you are. There you go.
Oh, you are? Okay. There he is. So many Hashis.
So many. You should see my setup. Wait, let's see. All right, this is me trying to keep track of what the heck is going on here.
Mobeen, for your SuperComp issue, please contact our support team. It's probably an issue with your GPU, but they will have a better idea of how to help you with that. Support.maxon.net.
No idea where I'm sending that. Here y'all are. This is the stupidity that I'm trying to make sense of while
I do this.
all right. Let's do some more matrix plates. Okay, footage. Let's see. Shot 20. You've got... That's a pretty good one. Just a hand hanging out there. Right, I'll do this. I'll see if I can make my little window smaller like that, and then I can see my reference shot in the background. And now I'll turn on my green screen, and I'll find my recording apparatus. Display capture. Where are you coming from? You should be coming from display 1. Okay. Great. Okay, so just a hand hanging out there. Just like that. Put some light behind it. How goes it over there, Seth?
Pretty good.
I know we're quiet out here, y'all.
My foreground meat tubes are lining up pretty well with the hand. I'm about to start doing the coloration on it.
Always important to check on your foreground meat tube settings,
Yes.
everyone.
Truer words have not been spoken. I'm going to expand that mask or unexpand it a bit.
All right, let's record just a little. Oh, there's not much of a. Oh, you see, I should have maybe added that forearm bit, because right now I'm not getting any bend from my hand. I'm just getting the hand itself. Okay, so what's he doing? He's doing kind of a thing like that. There we go. Wow, 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 wow. All right, let's record this little action right here. Start recording, and just facing forward a little bit. I'm just going to have him waving his fingers in the meantime, because, you know. This is also me waving goodbye to all the excited viewers who came to see something fun.
See ya, haters.
All right. Okay. So we've got that. And let's go to plate 21. What do we got? Okay. These are going to be some fun ones. Okay. So punches.
We've got 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Okay. I'm just going to record a couple of punches, and then maybe we'll comp one more shot, and then we'll see. We did it. All right, start recording. Let's see. So for these punches, so is it funny if they start closed and then like, are they funnier if they're just like floppy the whole time?
Maybe. There is one shot, well, it's a little late to probably try and tackle it, but there's the shot at the end where I thought it'd be really funny if when he says, "Come on and hit me," and then he goes like this, and then I thought it'd be great if his fingers just were tickling Morpheus's face for an extended period of time. And where it would just make a sound. All right. So
yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For like a while. Okay, so I'm ready to texture and comp these fingers. So I'm going to, this is where it gets fun. This is where our meat tubes start to look like meat. I am going to go in and get rid of the ones I'm not using. I have this texture called skin, and I'm just going to drop it onto all of these meat tubes. Oh, and it looks immediately bad. / perfect. And I come back out, and I've got meat tubes. Now, I do need to figure out lighting-wise what gives me the best.
Yeah.
I need to turn on ambient occlusion. And then I need to match the skin tone. That looks so stupid in the best way. This is... All right, so I need to properly... Okay, so you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use Magic Bullet Looks to match his skin tone.
That sounds like a good plan.
What is your Magic Bullet Looks technique?
Well, Hashi, I'll show you. Give me just a second. I feel like that's good enough for me.
Are you using the color remap feature?
I'm using the color remap feature, but here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to apply an adjustment layer first. Go, hey, Looks. And Looks opens up. Let me see if I can make this the size of the screen. And I'm going to apply a tool called Color Remap. And I'm going to click New Color Remap. And first I'm going to color pick the color that I want to affect. I'm going to click the meat tube. And the next one I'm going to color pick is going to be Lawrence Fishburne's skin. And doesn't look perfect yet. That's fine. I'm also going to grab the darker parts of the tone. So that one, and I'm going to pick that one. And it looks terrible because it's applied to everything. But I'm going to copy that instance of Looks, turn off the adjustment layer, and then go paste it onto Element. And it's much closer to his skin tone now. In fact, like that frame right there is pretty is pretty solid.
That is pretty solid.
That is remarkable.
I should turn on motion blur. Oh no, I'm going to.
That is so disturbing, man.
It is profoundly. I think maybe the hand mask. Maybe I'll just adjust this.
I think you need to play with the lighting just a little bit if you can, because the darks go real dark real fast on the backside there.
Yeah. So maybe what I'll do is levels. Nah.
I'm just doing more of my quote performance capturing over here.
I mean, we're pretty close with this thing.
My hand model is so bad.
157. I mean, we almost got there today.
I mean, we figured out a live 3D track
That's pretty
model
insane.
and an exhaustively accurate meat tube recreation of physics altogether, which I think is lovely.
I think we got it.
All right, I'm just going to import a series of these hand captures and just try to find good bits of them that work. Okay, let's drag this one in. They probably all need a mask on them, and they probably all need these exact same effects. So I'm going to copy paste all of my oh, maybe not the drop shadow. All right, so Seth, what I've got over here is basically just tons of me messing around, making ridiculous movements over here. And what I hope to do is just kind of go through and find little moments that would work well for
Perfect.
all of this action that's going on.
I think we'll be able to come up with something really stupid, sufficiently stupid for what we've now brought the internet to expect from us.
Yes. Stupidity at its finest.
VFX and chill. I think.
Therefore, you are.
Why was that so funny to me? Because I'm tired. Copy looks and levels. And I'm going to call it a day.
That was remarkable, Sotherson.
You too. Good God. The thing. What you're doing over there is ridiculous. Let's just make this full screen. And that's what we did today, folks. It needs some fine tuning, of course. But those look like hot dog fingers to me.
Those do look like hot dog fingers. I'm going to go with all these ridiculous deformations that I'm getting like this.
Seth, the chat is asking who made the thumbnail for the stream today. Was that you?
It was me.
That was the Seth.
It was Seth. It was Seth blurred out. It was Seth.
It's usually Hashi. Today was me. I almost put arrows in it, but I don't have the courage that Hashi does.
Oh my gosh. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We do love what we do, and we couldn't do it without your help and support and suggestions. So please come back every week, hang out with us, and we'll create some stupid and maybe every now and then some useful stuff. And go follow But With Raptors, everyone.
Yes, please go follow at But With Raptors. Before we go, I think it's important that I do make this complete.
There we go.
And
hey, look at that. You even used Universe Line.
Universe Line. And I'm going to need to...
Like you almost made him the avatar.
I need to change the colors to... let's see. VFX and chill yellow. And now it's done.
I don't need to do any tracking. I'm just going to leave this hand on top of frame like that.
So profoundly stupid. I love it so much.
No matter what I do, whatever difficult comping I do beyond this will not look as funny and good as this. This is what just happened here.
It's like the Gremlins shot with the alien, Toy Story alien from a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Well, guys, that's it for this week for another episode of VFX and Chill. We love you guys. Please have a great, very chill weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.